Alexis Nunes here with Mark Ogden. I'm in my hotel room in Madrid, Augie, here on Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid watch. But the big story now, a conversation that honestly I can't believe I'm having with you right now. I mean, it feels like we expected to have this conversation at one point, but I didn't expect it to be in this transfer window or today. Cristiano Ronaldo heading back to Manchester United. He's coming home, as so many United fans are saying, Augie. But first and foremost, just your reaction to this news. And like what I said, something that we expected to probably talk about at some point in the future, knowing his love for United, but not in this transfer window.
Well, I obviously was caught out by I'm wearing a sky blue shirt, so I've got the wrong colour on today. Maybe I woke up this morning with the wrong impression. But look, I think everybody thought he was going to go to Man City. It was fairly obvious throughout this week that he was going to leave Juventus. And Man City, having missed out on Harry Kane, were desperate to get a player in. And Ronaldo to City looked like not a done deal, but as close to done deal because the appetite was on both sides. And City really needed a striker. And then I think, obviously, I've been covering Man United and Ronaldo for many years. I was working the day that he actually left United. I remember taking a phone call from somebody at United then with this kind of heavy sigh saying, he's going. And it was like, oh, well, it was going to happen at some point. And ever since then, United have tried to get him back, 2013, 2014, always tried, but never quite looked like they were going to get him. And it really looked like the ship had sailed. He's 37 in February. And United, told us many times in recent years, they moved on from signing players that are, past their best and past the peak. But I think with Ronaldo, and maybe people like Lionel Messi, there's always an exception because they are such great players. You look at his record at Juventus, and I think the prospects of Ronaldo signing for Man City just kicked United into gear. It was like, we can't allow this situation to happen. We can't allow one of our most celebrated, iconic players to sign for Man City. So I'm told United made a late move on Thursday, kicked into gear. And from that point on, they had the momentum. And as we are now, he's back at Man United and wearing the red shirt again.
And like you said, how did it just go from Manchester City, which almost felt like a done deal, or people were saying it was a done deal from about an hour or two ago from the time of this recording? How serious were Manchester City in getting Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh, Man City were absolutely serious. And, for me, I said this earlier this week, I don't think that Ronaldo fits into the way that City plays, not a Pep Guardiola player. But saying that, he scores goals and goals and goals, especially in the Champions League, which is what City are all about. So for me, he would have been a good signing for City in the sense that he would have scored a lot of goals. But it just felt on Thursday, the day dragged on, that the deal wasn't being done. You just got the instinct that this doesn't feel quite right. My gut was that the Ronaldo camp were playing City a little bit, were trying to smoke out other interest. I thought people like Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain were the more likely destinations. I did wonder if United were in for it, but I just, I tried to contact people at United yesterday and I didn't get anything back. And, this tells you why, because they were obviously working on it and didn't want to share any kind of details. So I think once City realised that United were in the race, they knew that the emotional pull, the financial might of United is even greater than City's when it comes to paying wages and transfer fees. United are happy to pay the fee. So it just wasn't going to end up going to City. And also I was told that, the heartstrings of Ronaldo were tugged by former players, texting him last night, WhatsApp messages. I was told that he was exchanging WhatsApps at 1 o'clock in the morning, UK time, with former teammates. So basically saying to him, you can't tarnish your legacy or your standing with the fans by going to Man City. And let's be honest, if he moves to Man City, he's got more chance of winning trophies this year, next year than by going to United. So United is an emotional move rather than a move for success. Because I think United City are a much better place to win the big honours. But clearly he's felt that the emotion of the game is worth more at the moment than winning major honours.
And I mean, for the romantics such as myself, this is enough to make you want to shed a couple of tears, which I probably will after this hit. But you know what? If we're going to be the realists, Augie, you did mention his age, and he's definitely no spring chicken, but he is probably, barely human, as some would say, like Lionel Messi, someone where age really doesn't matter. But in terms of what Manchester United are trying to do and this whole transition and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, how do you see Ronaldo fitting in? Because of course he had a great time last time, but some people would say lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice.
Well, he's nearly 37, but he's probably got the body of a 27-year-old. So, Ronaldo is the perfect athlete. And we look at people like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who is now 40, 80 man, still going strong, still scores goals. I think Ronaldo has certainly got at least a season in him, maybe 2 seasons of top-level quality. And I think one thing that plays in his favour at United is the fact that he's surrounded by lots of young players. Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial's not old, Jadon Sancho. So Ronaldo won't do a lot of the running, that maybe he would have done when he was younger. But all these young players will do the running for him, do all the hard work for him, and he's going to be there in the penalty area, on the edge of the box, heading goals in. I think, the way that United play will help him. And in terms of the transition to a different model, well, in many ways, having Ronaldo can mean you can fast forward that transition. You become a much more likely team to win things with Ronaldo in the team than not. So, who knows what happens in the future, whether United can still go for Erling Haaland next summer. I don't think this actually makes much difference to the pursuit of Haaland. I think that, signing Ronaldo will make as much money for United as it costs them, in the sense that, commercially, and the profile of the club, the sponsors that it will attract. So I don't think United will lose out on it. I think it makes them more of an attractive proposition, potentially successful. And if that's the case, Erling Haaland might fancy United next summer, after all, with or without Ronaldo. So I don't think it impacts on that. I just think it makes United, it's a bit of a shortcut to success in many ways, if he's able to contribute as he has done. But I've not seen any sign that Ronaldo doesn't have at least a year left in him. So I think it's a good sign for United.
And I mean, there's a million questions that we could ask about this signing, but of course the details are just coming right now. However, just looking ahead to, in terms of who's left in the squad, is there anyone that this arrival of Ronaldo would probably worry? Well,
there's a few players that might think, what am I going to do? I mean, Edinson Cavani is an obvious one. Cavani had a great season for United last year. He did a fantastic job. And there's a few issues with Cavani right now, in terms of he's not fully fit yet. He wants to go back to Uruguay to play during the international break. I think, obviously, if Ronaldo's fit and playing, he plays through the middle, which will affect Cavani's role. Cavani might want to get away and play more regularly. You've got people like Anthony Martial, again, may not figure too often. Then you've got the likes of Jesse Lingard, who, again, not in the same situation as Ronaldo, but it's a forward player. So I think for the next 3 or 4 days, once they get the ink dry on the Ronaldo contract, United will look to get people out, not to pay his wages, but just to kind of reduce the squad, because otherwise they'll have a lot of players that aren't going to contribute. So I think it'll still be a busy few days for Man United in terms of the window, in terms of getting players out. I think you could maybe see 3 or 4 players leaving before the deadline at 11 p.m. UK time on Tuesday. So, let's see. But I think Ronaldo arriving does spell the end for some players, but, it's a good signing for Man United.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN Plus.